Good morning to you all. Ubiway, I think more and more people know the name Ubiway. Most of you probably know AMP, and I hope every one of you knows the team of Tom Vermeers and his account managers. Tom, can you please rise up? Important. Thank you. But you can keep standing up because it's important that I will talk about the transformation of Ubiway, AMP, and all the rest. I think these are the guys that are really leading that transformation. And most importantly, these are the guys that buy you drink tonight at the bar of the hotel. So please remember their faces. As Tracy already said in the introduction, AMP and the other entities of the Lagardère Group has been taken over at the end of 2016 by bpost. And we're gently but slowly transforming that company into Ubiway with an important shareholder. Please let me introduce to you Ubiway, and I hope that this works.
We are Ubiway, your logistics and retail partner. Thanks to our distribution network, all readers in Belgium can pick up their favourite newspaper or magazine at the newsagent or have it delivered to their letterbox. We also set the standard for the delivery of all other typical products you'll find at the local newsstand. Your newspaper or magazine makes it from the printing press to the shop or your coffee table in just a few hours. Shipping large volumes takes detailed planning and advanced techniques. That is why we work with renowned partners and publishers and implement high-tech systems such as Aero, Pick and Pack, and Track and Trace. This enables us to process huge volumes on a daily basis and keep track of where they're located in the logistical flow. A newsagent is not just about the printed press. That is why we have established partnerships with all leading drinks and snacks brands. Convenience and impulse products also boost turnover. Examples include toys, multimedia, paper articles, or smoking accessories. Extra work? That's a thing of the past thanks to Distriweb, the all-in tool our sales points use to manage press administration and to order all food and non-food products via the e-shop, with delivery the following working day. At Ubiway, we are keyed into all the trends and anticipate consumer needs. Solid concepts are rolled out in our own sales point network, including Press Shop, Relay, and Ubis. Ubiway's Eat, Read, Meet is a good example of this. Ubiway distributes, innovates, and experiments to shape the newspaper world of tomorrow. Targeted training programs via our in-house training store and revolutionary distribution and retail concepts that help our partners grow.
This is Ubiway. We live in Belgium. We're strong in Belgium. And I think if you look at a company, it's important to see the context of that company. Belgium, mainly dominated by two major languages, the Dutch-speaking part in the north, 60–65% of the population, and the French-speaking part in the south. Know that, just for the history, when Belgium was created by the split of the Netherlands, the Low Countries, as to speak, Belgium was, like many other countries in the 19th centuries, a mainly French-dominated cultural country. Which also explains that if I look at the press, certainly at the magazines, that still a big part of the French magazines that are distributed in the Walloon area come from outside, come from France. In the Dutch-speaking part, the editors develop themselves and have more and more their own newspapers and their own magazines. So two major languages with a different setting and with different types of press and press presence. Now, when bpost took over the different entities of Lagardère Group end of 2016, I came in and I joined the group at the beginning of 2017, and together with our executive committee, we built a new strategy, which is easy to explain. It's a tree with some strengths, with some enablers, and different strategic priorities. I want to highlight for you three major axes on which we are currently working. I think the first one, having talked to most of you yesterday, is the most important one, meaning the creation of one single business unit press within the bpost group. I will also talk briefly about diversification and briefly about the retail future that we have in Belgium. First of all, we decided 2 weeks ago, the 15th of September, that within the bigger bpost group, and bpost is a stock-listed company worth 3 billion euros, that we would create one single entity that will deal with the press. Press being subscriptions home delivered, subscriptions in your point of sales, and the normal retail sales. Know that in Belgium, in contradiction to Italy, for example, the largest part of newspapers and magazines are the subscriptions part. Okay? So we created that business unit, and the funny part of it is that bpost asked the little company EMP, the takeover of in 2016, to manage that business. So Tom and his colleagues are becoming responsible from the 1st of January 2019 for a complete different setting of our business model. Not only for the sales to our retail, but for the total press distribution in Belgium. That means in terms of turnover, and turnover I mean the gross distribution margin, that we will increase the AMP or the Ubiway distribution margin from more or less 70 million to 360 million euros, and that in terms of employees, we will have 3,400 FTEs instead of more or less 400 people currently working for AMP. I think that's an important move, take into account the decline of our business, that we can integrate all forces and the different channels that the editors have and will have to distribute their newspapers and their magazines on the Belgian territory. Now, this is a starting point to make sure that we will integrate further and then really build up that business unit press. First example is the operational efficiency gain that we must have. Important because that will enable us to offer to the editors the right quality-price ratio. So we will combine the forces of AMP and the forces of bpost in order to make sure that we can deliver newspapers and magazines at the right cost. And we will create 2 levels of operational flows. First level is for the newspapers. We will be present in the main printing houses of the editors on Belgian territory, meaning that instead of printing the newspapers, loading them into a truck, transporting the truck to another place, unloading the truck, and starting preparation of the newspapers, both for the sales towards the retail and the subscriptions, that we will start within the area of the editor, where the work really starts. Secondly, for the magazines, I think I've inherited more or less 12 different legal entities on different places in Belgium. From a historical perspective, because there were former takeovers, we will centralize all magazine preparations in one, maximum 2 sites in Belgium to make sure that we have the most efficient way to work with. That's the first level. The second level is regional and local presence. There, of course, we will benefit from the advantage of a big group like bpost that has more or less 250 different local and regional warehouses in Belgium. We will start from those regional and local warehouses to make sure that we can deliver the subscription part and the part towards the point of sales. Secondly, and we told our clients and we talked to the editors the last couple of weeks and we asked them a bit of time in order to make sure that for the 1st of January 2019 we can organize ourselves to serve them better. Meaning, we want that each editor has an own specific account manager and account management team, never mind the sales channel that we use, being it subscription and point of sales, or being it the sales in a point of sales, we can serve the editors in the right way. And the same thing counts for the commercial advisors that will work towards the retail point of sales. That means that with the creation of that business unit, it is what you should call a kind of reversed takeover. The big bpost took over the little AMP, but for the press business unit, they asked the management of AMP to take over the full responsibility on bpost level. I think that's a great accomplishment for the former team of AMP to have that recognition and to have that expertise that is recognized within the bpost group. I think also important towards our main clients, because with that move, we can make sure that we're one single voice towards our customers and that we can even try to serve them better. Second part, I think, is the part that we're all trying to aim for. We know that the press is a declining business. As from a distributor point of view, it makes sense to start distributing other products, the so-called diversification. As from July, so a couple of months ago, we started the full delivery into the press outlet stores of food and convenience products. Important because if I compare press with food and convenience, if I'm a press outlet, I need to work with Ubiway or IMP to make sure that I have certain titles and certain magazines. Here, each point of sales decides each evening or every other week that they want to be delivered by Ubiway. So it's a completely different choice. For us, also important to make sure that we have other products in the lanes that we can offer our clients. We started with that a couple of years ago, but unfortunately, until July of this year, we were lacking some products. And mainly, the first most important product as food and convenience in a press outlet and even in petrol stations, which is, in Belgium, a 50 centiliter beer can. And we didn't have that. And that's a problem because that 50 centiliter, not the 33, but the 50 centiliter beer can accounts for more or less 7 or 8% of the total sales of snacking and beverages in a press outlet store. So no press outlet store would ask us to deliver some products to them as long as we didn't have that 50 centiliter beer can. Unfortunately, as from July of this year, we have the top 300, including the beers, the top 300 fast-moving and slow-moving products for those press outlet stores. So we started, it was a bit of a gamble in July, but we saw that it took off in the right way, and even more, I saw the figures of September yesterday, we overachieved our target by more or less 30%. So that shows that in today's world, the press outlet stores and petrol stations really are willing to be delivered by a press distributor also for other products. And what is the big advantage for them? If I take the example of a press outlet store, if I at the evening come at home and I order something online, Amazon or whatever, the next hours, at latest the next day, it's delivered. And I go back to my shop. And then I order snacking and beverages, which are normally delivered every other week. What we can offer is a daily delivery of what people used to sell, and a daily delivery thanks to our e-commerce platform. So it's the same way as you buy your own goods professionally or privately online, you buy your goods that you sell in your point of sales professionally online, and it's delivered the next day. And of course, we try to make some publicity for that with some physical brochures and not only digital e-commerce. We are still an important player in the physical world. That's why that we're also trying to do that one. That is the second axis, still small, but of course our target is that we want to deliver in 2019 at least an 8-digit turnover. I also think that we need that because you have two choices. Otherwise you become important in the delivery of snacking and beverages and diversification goods, or you don't do it. But we only have those two options. You can compete with the wholesalers or you can't compete. So we need to become important in that part also. Thirdly, we have our own retail network. I think other distributing companies have their own retail network. We have in total 210 point of sales in Belgium, different brands. And I feel very comfortable with the retail brands that we have in the travel environment. We won last year an important tender from the Belgian railway company that we won, and that secured our presence in the main and the middle rail stations until 2024, 2026 even. So we are present in the travel environment. We have a great presence there. We're also present in the Belgium and Brussels Airport Company. So with the travel environment, I feel comfortable. I don't think that's the issue. I also feel pretty comfortable in shopping malls. Because our presence in shopping malls, we are present in the main shopping malls in Belgium, and that's okay-ish. I'm worried much more about the shopping streets and the local press outlets. Why the shopping streets? Because the rent and shopping streets for our margin as a press retail player is too high. I don't sell clothes. I don't sell other luxury products, and the margins that we have to justify the rent in a shopping street are normally too high. So I will skip that part on the shopping streets because I don't think that we have a future in the shopping streets as a press outlet player. We will focus upon the regional presence. And as we are very good and very professional in the travel environment, I think that we need to be present in the more car commuting and other regional areas towards Belgium. So the big challenge in the years to come for the press outlet stores that we have and that we manage ourselves is to make sure that we have the transformation of a very local small presence towards an embedded presence locally and aiming for the car commuting environment. So that will be the challenge in the years to come. We have our own press outlet stores, but we also make the connection between the Ubiway distribution part and what we call the Ubiway retail park to make sure that the expertise that we gain and the efforts that we do in our own retail park are also beneficiary for the independent press outlets. That's why that we also organize training, sales and promotions, and that we want to make sure for our distribution part that what we're trying to do for our own retail park is also beneficiary for the independent press outlets. So 3 main goals. I think the first move was an important one with the consideration of our shareholder that internally within AMP that we have the expertise and the know-how on the press side, and in order to better serve our clients from a quality price perspective, that it makes sense that the AMP team becomes responsible for the total business unit. We're trying to diversify, and it will be up or out. I think that once again, you need to have a kind of volume to be successful, otherwise you can stop it. And thirdly, we have the same problems as many independent press outlets, also in Italy, that we must make sure that we can professionalize our environment and that we stay successful also in the retail world. So not an easy task, I think, with the teams. From time to time, we feel a bit like a salmon. Yeah, we have to go counterflow, but unfortunately, or fortunately, that's the business model that we're in. We cannot change the world, but what we try to do, and I think it's the same for each individual editor, it's the same for each individual press distributor, we need to go against the tide, we need to go counterflow. The only thing that we're hoping for is that, yes, we have a strategy, and that was the fun part. We have ambition, that's clear, and we have the right teams and the right people in place, but you might just never know what happens. I think that we're more or less prepared for the future, but you never know what will happen in the next years and decades to come. That was my story, the story of AMP transforming into a Ubiway. Thank you for attention, and we'll see each other.